It's been a long Monday. Education's struggling with none. Justice advocates are alarmed by none, and most people don't even understand what they're dealing with. But tomorrow morning, practitioners across every industry still need to know what actually works when you're implementing AI tools in the real world.
Sighs heavily. You know what drives me crazy? Everyone's talking about transformative potential, while I'm watching companies burn through $50,000 on ChatGPT enterprise licenses they never properly deploy. Last week, I had a healthcare startup call me after 6 months of trying to integrate an AI diagnostic tool. They'd spent $180,000 and had nothing to show for it.
That's exactly why I started small. When I began using Midjourney for my design work, it was just $30 a month. But the real cost? About 40 hours figuring out how to actually integrate it into my workflow without destroying everything I'd built over 10 years.
Laughs bitterly. Try building an entire company around AI tools. We burned through $2.3 million in our first year because we believed the hype. Simple tools beat complex systems. I wish someone had tattooed that on my forehead before we started. Let's get specific. Maya, that healthcare startup, what went wrong?
Everything that could. They bought into IBM Watson Health's promises. Remember that disaster? $62,000 for the base license, another $45,000 for implementation support, which turned out to be 3 days of generic training. Then they discovered their patient data format was completely incompatible. Another $73,000 for data migration consultants.
But that's enterprise-level nightmare fuel. In the creative space, it's different but equally messy. I know designers who jumped on DALL-E 3, spent weeks generating images, then realized their clients could tell immediately it was AI-generated. Career damage in real time.
We made that mistake with copy generation. Jasper AI seemed perfect, $125 per month for the team plan. Within 2 weeks, our content was flagged by every AI detector out there. Our SEO tanked, organic traffic dropped 60%, cost us about $400,000 in lost revenue before we figured it out. So what does work? Because clearly some people are succeeding.
Phased adoption with metrics, but real metrics, not vanity ones. My most successful client is a manufacturing company in Detroit. They started with one production line, one specific use case, quality control using computer vision.
Tell them the costs. People need real numbers.
Initial setup, $15,000 for the hardware, $8,000 for the software license from Cognex. But here's the kicker, $45,000 for a 3-month pilot with dedicated support. They measured defect detection rates obsessively. Week 1, 73% accuracy, worse than their human inspectors. Week 12, 94% accuracy, 30% faster than humans.
That's the pattern I'm seeing everywhere. The tools that work are stupidly simple and narrowly focused. We pivoted to using Whisper API for transcription, 0.06 per minute. Dead simple. Our customer support team uses it to transcribe calls, then a basic GPT-4 setup to summarize. Total monthly cost, about $1,200. ROI, priceless, because our support tickets actually get resolved now. What about creative workflows? Sophie, you mentioned 40 hours to integrate Midjourney.
Groans, where do I start? First week, generated 500 images, thought I was a genius. Week 2, realized none of them matched my client's brand guidelines. Week 3, learned you can't copyright AI-generated images in most jurisdictions. Nearly lost a $30,000 contract over that one.
This is what I mean about support infrastructure. There's no manual for how to not destroy your creative business with AI tools.
Exactly. So I built my own framework. Step 1, never show clients raw AI output. Step 2, AI generates base concepts I spend 80% of my time refining. Step 3, document everything for legal protection. My actual workflow now, Midjourney for ideation, Photoshop for execution, my brain for quality control.
We learned that lesson with code generation. GitHub Copilot is amazing, $19 per developer per month. But our junior devs started shipping Copilot suggestions directly. Bugs everywhere. Now it's a rule. Copilot suggests, senior devs review, juniors learn from both. Let's talk failure analysis. What patterns do you see in implementation disasters?
3 horsemen of the implementation apocalypse. First, buying before trying. Companies sign enterprise contracts before running pilots. Second, ignoring workflow disruption. You can't just bolt AI onto existing processes. Third, no success metrics defined up front.
Add a fourth, underestimating human resistance. I freelance for agencies, and the pushback is intense. Senior designers see AI as a threat. Junior designers use it as a crutch. Nobody wants to find the middle ground.
For startups, it's the shiny object syndrome. We integrated 7 different AI tools in our first 6 months. Notion AI for documentation, Synthesia for video generation, Copy.ai for marketing, Dialogflow for chatbots, absolute chaos. Now we use 3 tools total, period. What were the real integration nightmares?
Oh God, where do I start? Finance company tried implementing an AI trading algorithm. Spent $340,000 on development, another $120,000 on compliance reviews. Then they discovered their legacy systems updated every 15 minutes, while the AI needed real-time data. Another $200,000 to rebuild their data pipeline.
Try explaining to a client why their AI-generated logo looks exactly like someone else's. Happened twice before I started running every output through reverse image search. Lost a client, nearly got sued. Fun times.
API changes. Shakes head. We built our entire product on GPT-3, then OpenAI deprecated endpoints with 30 days notice, 40,000 lines of code to refactor, 3 developers working overtime for 2 weeks. Direct cost, $45,000. Indirect cost, 2 developers quit from burnout. So what actually works? Give me success stories with numbers.
Manufacturing client I mentioned. After the pilot, full rollout across 7 production lines. Additional investment, $240,000. Annual savings, $1.8 million from reduced defects and faster inspection. But it took 9 months to get there.
Small wins. I use Runway ML for video editing, $35 a month. Saves me about 10 hours per week on rough cuts. That's $500 weekly in billable hours I can spend on creative work. Annual ROI, roughly $26,000 in additional capacity.
Customer support automation. We use a stack of Intercom $500 a month, custom GPT-4 integration $2,000 a month in API costs and human oversight. Reduced response time from 6 hours to 6 minutes. Customer satisfaction up 40%. Support team headcount stable despite 3x growth. What about team resistance and change management?
Laughs darkly. The healthcare company's radiology department. Senior radiologists refused to use the AI diagnostic assist, called it practice of medicine by algorithm, took 6 months of showing them case studies where AI caught cancers they missed. Even then, adoption was maybe 60%.
I've seen agencies implode over this. One place I freelanced, they brought in Canva's AI tools. The design team revolted. Half quit within 3 months. The ones who stayed either embraced it or pretended it didn't exist.
We made participation optional initially. Big mistake. The team split into AI users and AI resistors. Productivity gap created resentment. Now it's mandatory, but with heavy training and support. Cost us $30,000 in workshop fees, but worth it. Let's get ultra practical. Someone listening needs to implement AI tools tomorrow morning. What's the playbook?
Start with one painful, measurable problem, not improve efficiency. Something like reduce invoice processing time from 3 days to 3 hours. Then find the simplest tool that might help. Run a 30-day pilot with 10% of your volume. Measure everything.
For creatives, pick your most tedious task. For me, it was removing backgrounds from product photos. Photoshop's AI can do it in seconds. Start there, build confidence, expand slowly, and always keep the human in the loop.
Budget reality first. Take whatever the vendor quotes and triple it. That's your real cost, including integration, training, and mistakes. If you can't afford the tripled number, you can't afford the tool. Specific vendor comparisons. What's actually worth the money?
For document processing, Azure Document Intelligence beats AWS Textract on accuracy but costs 20% more. Worth it if accuracy matters. For chatbots, skip Dialogflow, go straight to VoiceFlow. Half the price, twice the features.
Design tools, Midjourney for concepts, DALL-E 3 for specific styles, Stable Diffusion if you need complete control. Adobe Firefly is improving but still behind. For video, Runway ML for effects, Descript for editing, but nothing beats Premiere Pro for final output.
Development. GitHub Copilot is table stakes. Cursor is interesting but early. For testing, Catalan's AI features actually work. For analytics, obviously GPT-4 for analysis, but Tableau's AI features are surprisingly good for visualization. What about the metrics that actually matter?
Forget adoption rates. Measure outcome changes. That manufacturing client, they track defects per million, not AI usage hours. Healthcare clients should measure diagnostic accuracy improvements, not number of scans processed by AI.
Time to first draft. Before AI, 3 hours for initial concepts. With AI, 30 minutes. But total project time, only down 20% because refinement still takes forever. That's the metric that matters. Total project time, not task time.
Customer outcomes. Our support bot resolution rate is 67%. Sounds low? Industry average is 31%. That's $200,000 annually in avoided human support costs. But we measure customer satisfaction scores religiously, down even 5%, and we'd pull the plug. Final thoughts. What do people need to know that nobody's telling them?
The successful implementations are boring. They're not sexy, transformative moonshots. They're incremental improvements to specific workflows. A 15% efficiency gain that actually ships beats a 300% theoretical improvement every time.
You'll spend more time managing AI output than creating it. Budget accordingly. If a task takes an hour manually, AI might reduce generation to 5 minutes, but add 45 minutes of quality control and refinement.
The gap between demo and production is massive. Every vendor lies about implementation time. Every integration is harder than promised. Every AI tool will break in ways you can't imagine. Plan for it. So Tuesday morning, someone walks into their office. What's the first thing they do?
Pick one process. 1. Time it manually for a week. Document every step. Then research the simplest AI tool that might help. Start a 30-day trial. That's it. No enterprise licenses, no transformation initiatives. One process, one tool, 30 days.
Look at your last week's work. What took the longest but required the least creativity? That's your target. For me, it was resizing images for different platforms. Boring, tedious, perfect for AI. Start there.
Calculate your real budget. License cost plus integration, plus training, plus 50% buffer for surprises. If that number makes you uncomfortable, scale back. Better to succeed small than fail big. The pattern is clear. Simple tools beat complex systems, but only when implemented thoughtfully, measured carefully, and scaled slowly. Forget transformation. Focus on specific problems with measurable outcomes.
And remember, every successful implementation I've seen had a champion who spent nights and weekends figuring it out. There's no easy button, just careful work and realistic expectations.
The tools are powerful but dumb. Your expertise matters more than ever. AI doesn't replace judgment, it amplifies it. Use accordingly.
One last thing. Document everything. Every integration hiccup, every workflow change, every lesson learned. Because in 6 months, you'll need to do it all again with the next tool, and you'll thank yourself for the notes. Tomorrow morning, while education grapples with none and justice advocates worry about none, practitioners will quietly continue the real work, making AI tools actually useful in the messy reality of daily operations. Start small, measure everything, and remember, implementation success is boring, and that's exactly what you want.